I'm not getting a real clean cut on this. Rita, you gotta be sweet, baby. I'm gonna go get the other saw. I'm not getting a very clean cut on that at all, not with this saw. Sweetie, Daddy's working over here, okay, baby girl? Daddy's working. Can you let Daddy work for a minute? Trying to work around Rita is not always very easy. I need a different saw. Don't mess with my water line, baby. Rita's done enough with the water line as it is. Now, a lot of people are gonna say, Lester, your water line should be deeper. Duh. Guys, I know that. Hold on a minute. I gotta try to find my way through this fence that is being tied closed because of Rita. I love you, Rita, but sometimes you can be real hard to love, sweetie. As can we all. As can we all. Well, good morning, folks. Lester here, and I want to thank you guys for joining me on a brisk, a really nice, just a beautiful day, Thursday, my time. Today we're going to be working on some water line. You all know that our horses somehow stepped on a water line and just popped it right off. I'm looking for parts. We're going to fix water line together and do a whole lot more. So you guys come with me. I'm trying to look around for my water line. I have a bag of water line parts. I had a bag of water line parts, and now I don't know where it's gone. All right, so I found a piece of pipe that I need. I've also found my cement, and I've found the primer. I think that all of my parts are in that tote, but I'm scared to look in it because you guys know how I am about mice and rats and other stuff. And this is an area that I don't do a whole lot with. I'm just going to be honest. I don't do a whole lot in this area. Lord, if something jumps out and bites me, and that is completely empty. Okay, well, now we have an issue. I cannot find my parts to my water line. I'm going to tell you all something, and you may want to disagree, but I've always said that I don't like people on my tractor. I don't like folks on my lawnmower. I don't want people driving my vehicles because I don't think that unless they work and pay for something themselves, they don't really value it. They don't respect it as much. If it's not theirs, they're not going to really baby it around as much as if it were theirs, right? Their own. And in saying so, I feel like the same thing is true for the property. Be it running water line or doing landscaping, whatever the job is. I feel like a lot of people in this day and age want to do just enough to get by. No one really wants to go above and beyond to do things that's going to make their boss happy, to please their boss. Now, I think that you and I were in a different generation where we wanted to make sure our bosses were happy. I would work my tail off, even going above and beyond, because I wanted to please my boss. I wanted her to value my work and to trust me as an employee. And so I can't tell you the things that I would do and the things that I've seen other folks around my age do, other, co-workers, to please the powers that be. But I feel like, and this is just one man's opinion, friends, we can disagree. I feel like in this generation, people are a little bit different now. They only want to do enough to get paid. And then it's becoming very complacent with a lesser work ethic, lesser. I don't know how that was it. I don't know how that started. But what I've discovered, and this is what, guys, please don't be mean to me, but this is just one man's opinion. What I've discovered is, if I want something done right, I have to do it myself. If I can allow someone to do a job for me, I better already know it's not going to be done the way I would do it. It's not going to be done to my standards. And if you're going to say, well, Lester, then you should just do it yourself. You're right. You're right. Without complaining, if I don't want to have to complain, I should just do it myself. Well, today I am. Today I'm having to redo water line. So there, I'm doing it myself, okay? I woke up not in the best of moods this morning. It's because I have a lot to do that I think is, well, they're a job that I should not have to do because I paid someone else to do them. And I feel a little bit grouchy about all of that. I'm going to try to turn my frown upside down and get some jobs done. But allow me to vent first, please. Just allow me to vent for a minute. I'm just going to walk over right quick and have one peek at that water line to make sure it's the right size. I believe it's a 3/4 inch. The problem with this water line here is whenever we buried it, we did not go deep enough. We did not go deep enough with it. And see, it broke right there in the coupling. So what I have to do is buy a coupling. That's what I don't have. And that's where it broke. But yes, this is, I believe, I don't know if that's 3/4 or not. Sometimes you can find the words printed on there. But when we buried this water line, I remember how we did it. We used the tractor to trench from where we hooked the water line up all the way down and around to the barn. We got it all spliced together. And then here's the problem. And I will not mention any names because I've learned that y'all don't want to hear names. So fine. But the farm help at the time refused to get off the tractor to bury the line. And instead they tried to use the tractor to go by and somehow move dirt back over it, which does not work. I think that's the same size. I don't know why we would have an extra 3/4 inch pipe here, but that would be a different size. Anywho, bottom line is it never got buried right. I told Jamie that whenever we used to do, so we've never had trenching tools. We've always made do with post hole diggers, sharpshooter shovels, tractor maybe for trenching. But what you do is when you dig that trench, you come by and you clean all the stuff out. And then you put your water line as deep as you can, at least a foot deep. Then you come back with a rake. You get off the tractor. Yeah, you have to get off the tractor at some point. You come back with a rake and you walk along and fill it in. Please, Lord Jesus, I don't want to have to go all the way to find parts, bits and pieces. Well, it looks like I'm off. Guys, we are off. Do not make me do this alone. But you come back by with a rake and you fill things in. How many of y'all are like me and you put stuff places you can't find where you put it? And so, yep, I will have to go. This is where it would be if we had it, and I just don't know where those parts are at. So that's fine. We'll run to the store right quick, get what we need, and come back and do this little job. It shouldn't be hard. If I had the parts that I needed, it'd be real easy. So you guys come with me, but I'm just wondering two things. How many of y'all are similar to me in the fact that you, I don't know what I'm saying. All right, what I have now is a really clean cut on both ends. I'm going to take my glue and my primer out to make sure that did I bring a pair of pliers? Did I not bring a pair of pliers with me? Let's hope I don't need them. Let's hope I don't need them. I'm going to need them. Yep, I'm going to need my pliers. That opened up easy enough. That's the primer. But the glue is not going to open without having a pair of pliers. All right, we're back to recording. And what we're going to do is put some primer. Rita, do not be biting at me, sweetie. We're going to put some primer on this first piece of pipe. Let that dry for a second while I open up my my glue. There comes the glue. Rita, you're doing a really good job helping Daddy, sweetie. Thank you for helping me. All right, so we're gonna put this first coupler on there. That's good. All right, so we have our first coupler on there. And now we're gonna do the same thing to the other side, which is over here. Rita, don't bite me, sweetie, please. Don't bite Daddy in the head, sweetie. She's biting my hat. Rita, sweetie. Rita, I love you, but do not be biting me while I'm trying to work, sweetie. That's not very nice. Rita. Rita, that's not the sweetest thing you could be doing right now, love. Don't put your ears back neither, sweetie. See, I'm in the crossfire because we got one horse over on this side who's being sweet. We have, I think that's, Rita, I'm working over here, sweetie. Now she's knocking my post toe diggers off on top of me. All right, so what I have done so far, I put both my couplers on there. I hope you call those couplers. Now I have to measure and see how much pipe I'm gonna need to fit between the two. So if I go up in there to the first joint, I will need about, I'm just gonna say 1.1 1/8, 1 1/8. Rita, I need 1 1/8, baby girl. Sweetie, I need 1 1/8. Right there. I thought I'd brought me a marker over here. Okay, I put a mark. Rita, sweetie, you can't mess with my pipe, love. Rita, stand back. I'm gonna cut, baby. Don't want to scare you. Now, before I put any glue, I will make sure this is gonna fit first. It'll fit in that one, and I believe it'll fit down into that one. It's going to be hard because of the angle. This pipe here is coming up out of the ground, and that came from a really piss poor job at burying this water line. Oh, we'll talk about that. We're going to talk about that. The thing is, it's hard to talk about things, jobs that I've paid someone to do, because a lot of people get very upset when I talk about farm help. So I will not, I'll talk about farm help, but I will not mention any names, because I'm not gonna have everyone, you know what, people are gonna be mad at me no matter what. So it is what it is. This here water line was not very, very deep at all. And it's because of just laziness. Laziness. And it wasn't, here's the thing. If you don't actually stand around, observe, and watch things being done, I was very unaware of how shallow the water line was buried until it began to surface a couple of weeks or so after it was laid in the ground. Over time, things come to the surface through wind and rain, and water line should be at least 1 foot deep, at least 1 foot deep. And we don't really have cold temperatures here. We're not concerned about the cold, but 1 foot deep so that it doesn't surface. You can't have water line laying across the top of the ground. And that's what happened over here. So we've had a horse step on a water line because it wasn't buried deep enough. That's what horses do right there. They start messing around with stuff. Rita and Daddy are redoing a job that was never done right in the first place. You wanna wear my glasses, sweetie? You wanna wear Daddy's glasses? Oh, you look so sophisticated like that, sweetie. And they're not gonna go on your head because your head is so big, but we can wear them down on over your nose. I gotta get back to work here. Sweetie, I gotta get back to work, and you're not helping any. All right, back to work. Friends, it may not be pretty. There's a lot of cuts here that I had to make in this stretch of water line here. But you can understand why things are not always as easy around here as what they should be. there's a lot of distractions. So I will say this, and I'm being as kind as I can. In reality, this entire water line is going to have to be redone, because even though you don't see anything poking up between here and there, I'll walk out with you in a few minutes and I will show you several spots where it continues to come up out of the ground between here and the barn over there. And what'll happen is, baby, no, you're stepping on everything, sweetie. What'll happen is it will continue to get broken here and there every time someone drives across it, which we don't drive in this pasture a whole lot with anything big, but we do on occasion. Or when these horses come up and they step on it, it will continue to break. What I'm doing is holding it down right now so that glue can dry. That glue needs to dry for about 5 minutes. And, but listen, when you run water line, baby, stop it. We don't have a trenching tool here. And we've never invested in a trenching tool. But here's the thing. My dad taught me, we do have a single plow. My dad, and that's who I learned from, would take his tractor with his single plow, and you can go back and forth over the same line, the plow line, and make it as deep as you want to. That tractor, that 3-point, will make that tractor plow go down as deep as you want it to. But here's the thing. When you go by, and you have to at some point take a shovel and go by and clean out that line, because as you come by and plow, rocks will fall over into it, dirt will fall back into it. You have to go by and clean it out. You just don't walk along and lay pipe into it, because it's going to be like this. That pipe will be like this over here all the way around. And then when you join it together, you want it to all be long and straight along as low as you can get it. And then when you come by to bury it, you have to get off the tractor, friends. You have to get off the tractor at some point, get you a rake, and come by and rake the dirt into the hole, the trench. And that right there is the problem. We have water line like this over here, all the way from here to there, and everywhere that it rises up and was not buried proper, it's starting to pop out of the ground. And so this is just the first of many projects like this over here, unless at some point we take the time to go by and do it the right way. So it's frustrating, friends. It's just frustrating. Before I dump this clay on top of my water line, I'll have to go turn the water on to make sure there's no leaks. And this is a spot we've worked on right over here. So you guys keep your fingers crossed, and I'll probably need more clay than that. Oh, I got my fingers crossed. I'm so worried. Friends, I don't mean to have a negative video. There's enough going on in the world that divides us already. And I don't mean to add another element of divisiveness. So it's wonderful that you love farm help, and we've tried to showcase and highlight the positives of all the farm help, but every once in a while you have a day like this where things begin to surface, and you realize that, you know what, you're paying a lot of money. And I'm sorry, if you don't agree, then you don't have to agree. But in our minds, we're paying a lot of money for that, not that hard of work. It's just ways to help us out around the farm. Okay, so the good news is there's no leaks. I'm gonna go ahead and, I don't know if I can tilt this bucket down without it being cranked up. Yes, I can. Okay, so what that will do right there is prevent the horses from walking over this particular pipe, and that will keep that last spot where the water line's showing Okay, so that's not too bad. And now we should have water back to our barn, so our horses can enjoy. There we go. All right, friends, we are back in service. I want to thank you all for watching the video. We love you. We're blessed to have you. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Don't let your troubles fester. Come watch Longhorn Lester.
Yeah, something like that.